Let's build your future together.
John Brown first opened his own appliance store in Ellsworth in 1976. With his gift of storytelling, a strong work ethic, and a philosophy of putting others first, John and his wife and children saw the business prosper and grow. Today's third and fourth generation of family and their entire team continue to follow the example set by their grandparents and parents. Brown Appliance and Mattress, High Street, Ellsworth, a family tradition of quality, value, and customer service that always puts you first.
Save thousands on your new garage doors during the double rebate event at PDQ Door. Choose from several beautiful Clopay garage doors and get up to a $250 online rebate, and PDQ Door will instantly double it to save you $500. Buy 4 garage doors and get up to $1,000 in rebates, and PDQ Door will instantly double it to save you $2,000. Find a door you adore during our double rebate event for a limited time only.
I bought the sales pitch. Take an abortion pill and magically I would be unpregnant. I didn't know I'd have to take 2 different types of pills. That I would abort at any time, in my car, at work. That I would have to dispose of my aborted baby's body on my own. It haunts me. Don't make the same mistake I did.
Hamlin's Marine wants to congratulate all of the teams that made it to the tournament this year and wish them luck going forward. Paramount Paving wishes good luck to all the tournament teams, as well as congratulations on a great season. Katahdin Federal Credit Union would like to wish all the teams best of luck in this year's tournament.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust. We get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
President Trump, speaking before the Republican Governors Association on Thursday, attacked Maine over its defiance of his executive order banning transgender athletes from competing with the gender with which they identify. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has more on Trump's remarks and a strong response from Maine officials.
I heard men are still playing in Maine. Is anybody here from Maine?
Earlier this month, President Trump signed an executive order that intends to bar transgender athletes from girls' and women's sports by threatening to withhold federal funding from any athletic entity that allows them to compete. The Maine Department of Education and Maine Principals Association issued guidance in defiance for schools to continue allowing transgender athletes to compete in the gender they identify as. On Thursday, President Trump announced he would be withholding federal funds to Maine if they don't force schools to comply with his mandate.
I hate to tell you this, but we're not going to give them any federal money. They are still saying we want men to play in women's sports, and I cannot believe that they're doing that. They are, I'd love to find out who that guy is that raised his hand. Maybe he's just kidding, but so we're not going to give them any federal funding, none whatsoever, until they clean that up.
Attorney General Aaron Frey and Governor Janet Mills responded to the president with the Attorney General writing, quote, "It is disturbing that President Trump would use children as pawns in advancing his political agenda. Any attempt by the president to cut federal funding in Maine unless transgender athletes are restricted from playing sports would be illegal and in direct violation of federal court orders," end quote. Governor Mills got into a heated exchange with President Trump at the White House on Friday, in which she tells him, quote, "We will see you in court."
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
On a related note, the United States Department of Education Office of Civil Rights has launched an investigation into the Maine Department of Education amid allegations that it continues to allow biologically male athletes to compete in girls' interscholastic sports and that it has denied female athletes, quote, female-only intimate facilities, in violation of federal anti-discrimination law. Now, they are also launching a separate investigation into MSAD 51 after it was reported that Greeley High School is allowing one biologically male student to compete in girls' categories. Acting Assistant Secretary for the U.S. DOE Civil Rights said in part, quote, if Maine wants to continue to receive federal funds from the Education Department, it has to follow Title IX. If it wants to forego federal funds and continue to trample the rights of its young female athletes, that too is its choice. OCR will do everything in its power to ensure taxpayers are not funding blatant civil rights violators, end quote.
Governor Mills spoke out on the Title IX investigation, saying in part, quote, I imagine that the outcome of this politically directed investigation is all but predetermined. My administration will begin work with the Attorney General to defend the interests of Maine people in the court of law. But do not be misled. This is not just about who can compete on the athletic field. This is about whether a president can force compliance with his will. Without regard for the rule of law that governs our nation, I believe he cannot.
Well, Senator Susan Collins weighed in on both President Trump's threats to withhold funding and her views on following Title IX. Of President Trump's threats, Senator Collins said, quote, I oppose the president's attempt to curtail funding for Maine and will advocate vigorously for our fair share of federal funding for Maine schools. And again, I believe that we must treat transgender people with respect and dignity, end quote. But Senator Collins also made clear that she believes transgender athletes should be competing alongside competitors of the same biological gender. She said, quote, one of the keys to the success of Title IX has been fair and safe athletic competition. Allowing biological males who identify as transgender to compete in women's sports has threatened to undermine the core purposes behind Title IX. This is not a political issue. This is a matter of biology. State officials will have to make their own decisions about how they want to conduct athletic competitions in Maine, but we must remember that Title IX is a law, not a suggestion. And the law requires that the integrity of women's sports must be preserved in a way that provides safe, fair, and equal opportunities to compete, end quote.
A Belfast man charged with murder after a violent incident in Reedfield was supposed to make an initial appearance in court today. 34-year-old Samuel Whitmore was scheduled to appear this afternoon in Kennebec County Court, but the proceeding was not held after his attorney requested Whitmore undergo a mental competency evaluation before continuing.
I know that the court had been presented with a motion for a competency evaluation, which the court had looked at, and the court has entered that order for competency evaluation. Has asked the State Forensic Service to perform that evaluation as soon as possible.
Whitmore will continue to be held without bail pending his evaluation.
We're just having a technical difficulty here. Just one moment, folks. I apologize. The Kennebec County Grand Jury has indicted a Waterville man for attempted murder. 29-year-old Samuel Bell allegedly tried to kill his mother in November. According to Maine State Police spokesperson Shannon Moss, Bell allegedly shot 58-year-old Christina Bell at her Belgrade home. Court records indicate Bell shot her in the head. The grand jury also indicted him for elevated aggravated assault. 32-year-old Elijah Yeaton of Waterville was also indicted for his part for attempted murder and arson. He was indicted in connection with a fire in Waterville that happened back in May.
Well, currently, most of what you put in the trash ends up in a landfill, but that's about to change, at least for some here in Maine, thanks to a partnership between the Municipal Review Committee and Innovative Resource Recovery. Our Alex Schley tells us how a trash plant in Hamden is set to change the way waste is processed.
A new trash plant in Hamden will help 115 communities not only meet but surpass Maine's statewide recycling and composting goal of 50% waste diversion.
This has been in place since the 80s and the state has never hit it.
In spring of 2023, Initiative Resource Recovery and the Municipal Review Committee teamed up to reopen the Hamden trash plant. Aaron Hootery, the president of the board of directors for MRC, says they're now just weeks away from opening.
We're expecting this summer, early this summer, the MRF is going to be online with all the new optical sorter upgrades. So we'll start processing waste through, test the optical sorters, make our adjustments.
Executive Director of the Municipal Review Committee, Michael Carroll, says, while this facility will help break milestones, the technology behind it isn't groundbreaking.
What the unique thing about this project is they're putting them both on the same site. So there's all kinds of anaerobic digestion going on, making gas, and there's all kinds of MRFs processing waste.
The plant will house two systems, a multi-reuse facility, better known as a MRF, and an anaerobic digestion system.
So the MRF will bring in all the material and it will separate the commodities, recyclables, the metal, and then the fines will become repurposed cover. And then all your organics and fiber will go into a digester and that will make natural gas. And we're already connected to the natural gas pipeline.
The remaining matter will then go into a landfill.
The initial goal is to meet the state mandated 50% recycling. So we really want to do that, but we feel like there's going to be opportunities to pull additional material out. Ultimate goal, we hope to be in the 70 to 80% recycling range.
The MRF will be 100% up and running and fully processed by the end of this year, and the anaerobic digesters will be online next year.
In Hamden, Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, well, let's go ahead and hit pause, folks. We'll peek outside and get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth. Our first weather tonight is brought to you by Residential Roofing. For over 30 years, residential roofers specialize in metal and shingle roof replacements and repairs. Now they're more than just a roofing company. They are fully equipped to handle all your home building needs from the ground up. All right, and clear skies out there. Lots of sunshine earlier today. Not much going on for tonight. We are not seeing any big low pressure systems in our forecast for tonight and for tomorrow. We are seeing some small craft advisories in effect till right around 5 a.m. on Saturday, which is within the next few hours. Now, high temperatures, though, still below average. We saw 2.5 weeks of consistent, well below average temperatures, which is mind-blowing, but that trend will be changing. For tonight, though, we're going to continue to cool off out there. Clear skies, temperatures back in the single digits. Beth?
In the meantime, double-digit overnights.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Stay with us.
Fire, water, storm damage, and even mold. We take care of you from cleanup to construction 24/7. When disaster strikes, tell your insurance company you want Penobscot Cleaning Services.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Get this low mileage lease on this 2025 Cadillac XT5 for around $499 per month. Visit Court Cadillac in Bangor.
Ready? MLS is game on. Don't you? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends on. Rivalries on.
Versus New York City.
MLS. This is our soccer. Game on.
week is National Eating Disorders Awareness Week, an observance that aims to raise awareness about the prevalence and devastating effects of eating disorders. According to Northern Light Acadia Hospital, 9% of Mainers, roughly 117,000 people, will have an eating disorder at some point in their lifetime. But they say the stigma surrounding the disorders can prevent people from seeking help and can contribute to feelings of shame and isolation, making it all the more important to raise awareness.
I think one of the best things that people can do in recovery is share their story if they're able to. Certainly their journey can be very painful, but when they've gotten to the other side, we find that people want to share their story and give hope to other people. And that's one of the best things, is hearing from someone who's walked the journey and made it to the other side. And so that's in part why we're hosting.
Well, to help raise awareness and educate others, Northern Light Acadia Hospital will host a talk and other events free to the public during the week. For more information, of course, find the story on our website, foxbangor.com. And folks, stay with us. Your full 5-day coming up.
New or used? What's your preference? If you prefer to buy used, it's smart to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle from Down East. Here's why. All vehicles go through a rigorous 160-point inspection. They come with comprehensive and powertrain warranties, a Carfax history report, and 7 years of roadside assistance. Plus, qualified buyers get low new car financing rates. It's true, the best new cars do make the best used cars. For Toyota certified used vehicles, all roads lead to Down East on Wilson Street in Brewer.
Master anything with the fastest wireless speeds from Spectrum.
AMHG Works LLC, American-made home goods, located at the Rennie's Plaza in Bangor. Come check us out. We're open 7 days a week, featuring artisans, crafters, and manufacturers from across the United States, where everything is meticulously designed with care and pride. We also have a wide selection of pet accessories and treats. Let us be your new favorite store. We look forward to seeing you.
Come bowl a few games here at Bangor Brewer Bowling Lanes. We're one of the only Candlepin bowling alley centers in Maine, conveniently located in the heart of Brewer. You always have the opportunity to simply bowl for fun. However, you can also join a league. We have youth leagues, adult and senior leagues. Now don't forget, we also host birthday parties for under $100, and gift certificates are also available. Give us a call right away at 989-3798 to make reservations for your birthday party today.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
Turn heads in 2025 in the Tucson Hybrid Limited plug-in at Quirk Hyundai in Bangor. With sharp styling, comfort, and EV fuel economy, Tucson is a practical choice. Lease for just $399 per month. It's your Hyundai. Find it at Quirk.
Hi, I'm Tony Hafford from TC Hafford Basement Systems, the all things basement-y company. Basement waterproofing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. Since 1991, over 15,000 Maine homeowners have trusted TC Hafford Basement Systems to fix their basements. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basement-y.
Tired of your internet service constantly letting you down? Those other providers may promise the world with their flashy advertisements, but are you truly having a good customer experience? Fear not, because there's a new player in town. Introducing GoNet Speed. No more endless hold times or automated responses. We're here to listen, support, and provide you with the exceptional service you deserve. Our fast, reliable fiber internet, it's mind-blowing. Let us show you what true internet satisfaction feels like.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Discover the charm of Warren's Waterfront Restaurant, Bucksport's only waterfront dining. Relax in a cozy atmosphere where every visit feels like home. Indulge in fresh, flavorful dishes paired with stunning river views. Join us at Warren's Waterfront, your perfect escape.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half-off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Every answer tells a story.
Name something you'd do at the beach if you lost your bikini top.
Take pictures.
All right now, Kayla.
But sometimes, don't tell it on national TV.
Name something a date might smell like that would make you cut your date short.
Smells like he's unemployed.
You smell like you ain't working.
Family Feud.
You smell po.
Weeknights at 7 on Fox 22.
Feel the freedom of the all-new all-wheel drive 2025 Subaru Forester. Buy with 3.9% financing or lease for just $319 per month. It's your Subaru. Find it at Quirk.
And welcome back. Happy Friday out there. Weekend is knocking on our door. Not much going on. Most of the U.S. is pretty quiet out there. Of course, lake effect snow up into upstate New York and Pennsylvania. Some places in upstate New York, I was looking at this earlier today, watching some videos. Well over 220 inches of snow fell so far this season in a few locations in upstate New York. Wow. Records, of course, being broken. Some places seeing over 6 feet on the ground right now. Most of the state is seeing a lot of snow on the ground. Not snow falling. We're seeing pretty clear skies out there. A couple of clouds here and there. We're going to continue to stay clear out there for tonight. And then it gets a little bit more interesting out there as we head closer to Saturday night into Sunday, when possibly widespread light snow makes its way all the way over the state, mainly rolling in from west to east, of course. This is going to be more of a light snow event. We're not looking at anything heavy out there into Saturday and Sunday afternoon especially. Then things will start to clear up once again, but lake effect snow will be on the back end, falling closer to Vermont, upstate New York, once again Pennsylvania, like we've been seeing almost every day the last couple of months. Now, snowfall wise though, not much gonna fall. We're talking maybe a trace to half an inch. Maybe a little bit more wherever you see these white colors up north, mainly closer to Greenville, north of you as well. That's where more of the heavier snow will be falling, but nothing too bad out there. We're generally talking maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches at most in a few locations. Now look at these consistent blue temperatures. Staying well below average. We saw one day where temperatures were near average. Other than that, well below average. The last 2.5 weeks, consistently every single day. Now the next couple of days, we're going to see temperatures below average, but that trend will be changing finally, right? Pretty much all of February, we saw below average temperatures with our average high should be right around 33 degrees. We're going to be closer to average by Sunday, finally, maybe above average by Monday, and then for sure above average Tuesday, Wednesday, even into Thursday. We're looking at well above average temperatures back in those low to mid 40s out there, melting some of our snow away. Like I was saying a few days ago, now is your time to make sure your roofs are cleared up, especially if you live north and you have that heavier snow on the ground. Because as that light, fluffy snow continues to get more wet and thicker, it's going to be a lot more heavier on your roofs. So please be careful out there. Now, wind speed-wise, though, pretty gusty winds. 16-mile-per-hour winds. Very gusty winds all over the area. 9 at Bar Harbor. Rockland, you are at a 12-mile-per-hour breeze. We're going to continue to see pretty breezy conditions out there by early tomorrow morning. If you're going to be fishing, you want to make sure you prepare for that. And then finally, some lighter winds for Sunday and then into the day on Monday. For tonight, though, 6 degrees as a low. Mostly clear skies, breezy winds out of the northwest, bringing in those colder temperatures. For tomorrow, though, 31 as a high. Lots of sunshine out there. Still seeing those gusty winds. Our extended forecast outlook does show that snow lingering on Sunday, maybe some rain with 40s on Tuesday.
All right, well, get ready for Friday Night Fast Break with Tyler Cruz, Jack Webb, and Doug Banks. They're in with all the latest high school basketball coverage you could ever want.
Indeed.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Winter is a time to get outside and enjoy all that Maine has to offer. And when it's time to come inside, rest assured everything's toasty because of your Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. Push a button and you'll be snuggling up on the couch in no time. Valley Home Services offers reliable rebates, significant energy savings, and expert installation. And now save $500 off each indoor unit for all systems installed by April 1st. Embrace the comfort of Fujitsu heat pumps from Valley Home Services. Call or click today.
First ground rule? No challenge goes unaccepted. Together, we're unstoppable. Together, we're united. United Ag and Turf, your local John Deere dealer.
When Blazing Trails located in Lincoln want to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Blazing Trails is Lincoln's #1 trusted dispensary, providing outstanding product and customer service to eastern and central Maine.
The Furniture Gallery is celebrating President's Day. Camp and Cottage queen mattresses starting at just $198. Revolutionize your space with a cozy recliner. 3 color choices for only $298. Declare your independence from outdated furniture with a sofa chaise for $598. Or a sofa and love seat set, just $798. Get comfortable with the Scott Living King mattress, yours for the price of a queen. And don't miss these clearance deals up to 70% off. Hurry into the Furniture Gallery before these monumental deals are history. The Furniture Gallery.
I'm looking for somebody to be all in on this life.
I'm DTF. Down to farm.
Farmer Wants a Wife. Season premiere Thursday, March 20th on Fox.
Welcome in to Fast Break Tournament Edition. Brought to you by Dorsey Furniture and Coastal Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer.
There is just one day left of the regional tournaments. Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for joining us for day 7 of Tourney 2025 coverage. This is Fast Break. I'm Tyler Cruz. He's Doug Banks. Jack Webb joining us from Augusta in a second. Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture, the sponsors. Shout out to them. Doug, the regional finals kicking off today and wrapping up tomorrow, and I feel like we just started.
I know, man. We got a good slate of games to go over tonight.
Yeah, we do. Those are some great ones, and some great ones down in Augusta as well.
Absolutely. It just, the train keeps on moving and just keeps getting better too, man.
Yes, it does. We will start our coverage tonight with those Class A regional finals. But before we send it down to Augusta, let's check out those brackets. Starting with the girls, Hamden Academy took down Brewer and then Coney to earn their trip to the regional finals. The Camden girls knocked off Gardner and pulled off the big upset of Lawrence. That is our matchup there.
For the boys, Broncos took down Skowhegan and then Brewer, while the top-ranked Messalonski took care of business against Nokomis and escaped the semifinals over Camden Hills.
All right, now let's bring in our guy, Jack Webb, hanging out in Augusta on the floor of the Civic Center. Jack, these matchups looked great on paper. How was the night down in the state capitol?
Tyler, the Augusta Civic Center does nothing but deliver, as it did tonight with that first game. And let's roll the highlights. Let's get right into it. It was the 3-seed Hamden Academy taking on the 4-seed Camden Hills in the A Girls Regional Final. And this one was an instant classic. Camden Hills dominated the first half, had an 8-point lead, but with under a minute left in the third, Paige Richard hit a 3 that tied the game, 30 points apiece. Camden down 2, minute 30 left. Lauka spins and hits the floater to tie it at 2. Hamden would hit 2 free throws to go up 2. And with time winding down, Marin Johnson banks a shot home, and we are headed for overtime. In OT, it's the senior captain, Caitlin Murphy, who lays it in with the left to give the Broncos a 2-point lead with 13 seconds remaining. Time winding down again on Camden Hills. Lauka kicks it out to Tallulah Marks, who hits the deep 2 and sends it to another overtime. In the second overtime, Murphy gives it to Caitlin Adams, who drains the 3-point shot to give Hamden a 1-point lead. Then shortly after, it's Adams again. This time she dishes it to Eve Wiles, who lays it in, and the Broncos punch their ticket to the state championship, picking up an all-time win over Camden Hills 59-52.
It's indescribable. We've been working for this all season, and it's so special to do this on my senior year with all these girls. We've really just built a family. I mean, my emotions are all over the place. It's such a surreal moment.
Then the nightcap, it was the top-seeded Messalonski Eagles taking on the 2-seed Hamden Academy Broncos. Winner goes to states. Hamden Academy took a 1-point lead in the half, but the Eagles came out ready to play as Parker Reynolds finds Sean Acorn for the corner 3, which puts the Eagles up 7. Other end, it's Annie Hennigan who finds Sawyer Worcester to make it a 4-point game. We go to the fourth quarter now. Drake Brunell steals it and takes it all the way to the bucket, which extends that Eagle lead all the way to 9. Hamden trying to stay in it. Liam connects with Andy as the Hennigans are trying to will the Broncos back in this one, but it would be all Eagles in the second half. Reynolds finds Acorn yet again, this time for the mid-range jumper as Meso wins by a score of 49-37. They'll meet Falmouth in next week's state championship game.
Oh, great. It was really like, in that locker room, nothing but screaming, yelling, pounding stuff. It was wonderful.
Got two really exciting ones down there, and two kings and queens of the North are ready to represent at the state finals next week. What was key for these teams in pulling off those victories tonight? That girls one was a classic.
The girls' game was unbelievable. And you want to talk about this Broncos team. They were down 8 at half. They were down a number of times, fought all the way back in that third quarter to tie it, and then talking about not giving up, total fight till the end. The Camden Hills team with those practically buzzer beaters to keep themselves alive, keep making big shots. I mean, that shot outside in that first overtime was almost a three-point shot. That could have ended the game. It was just unbelievable, back and forth. And you can't say enough good things about this Broncos squad. The stories, the trio of sophomores, and then the lone senior who's been counted on to lead the squad, showed the squad how to win, showed them what it's like to be a varsity basketball player. She seals the deal with free throws and a couple big shots in the overtimes at the end. You seriously can't write it better than that. And as for the boys' game, that Messalonsky team, it just has so many threats to score, no matter who's on the court. Great guard play, great bigs play with Parker Reynolds, you just heard from there. That Messalonsky-Falmouth game is going to be a really good one, Tyler. I'm already looking forward to Friday. And like I said, if we know anything about the Augusta Civic Center, it's going to deliver.
Thanks as always, Jack. Great stuff there. Yeah, I saw a great Falmouth game from Augusta a couple of years ago. I know the Brewer kids will all remember that. Congratulations to those regional champs. Let's take a peek at the brackets to see those state finals matchups. Congratulations to the Broncos. They head to the state championship as the 3 seed, taking on top-ranked Mount Ararat, who took down Gray New Gloucester this evening. That game, like we said, next Friday night in Augusta.
And for the boys, Messalonsky takes down Hamden, and they will play the South champ Falmouth, who outlasted Noble 56-53 earlier today. Falmouth, another trip to the Class A state game. That one's scheduled for 7:45 next Friday in Augusta.
All right, so some great games there from Augusta tonight. As always, as has been all week, the B North final took over the Cross Center tonight, and it also did not disappoint. Keep it right here.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust. We get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Everyone has a reason to quit smoking or vaping. Maybe it's for your kids, your health, or just to prove to yourself you can. No matter your reason, quitting can be tough, but Mainers are tougher. Maine QuitLink offers free help to quit smoking and vaping. Get a personalized quit plan and free medications to control nicotine cravings. No insurance needed, no cost to Mainers. Because quitting tobacco with a little extra help is more successful than quitting cold turkey. Quit like a Mainer. Enroll online at mainquitlink.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Pregnant again at 19. I was in an abusive relationship and felt that I couldn't raise 2 children alone. So I took the first abortion pill and immediately knew that I had made the worst decision. I frantically searched for answers and found abortionpillreversal.com. I was referred to a doctor who began treatments that reversed my abortion. There's help for you too. It is not too late to save your baby.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust. We get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Cooper Flag leads third-ranked Duke against Illinois. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox Primetime Hoops.
Back with more Tourney 2025 coverage. Thanks for staying with us alongside Doug Banks. I'm Tyler Cruz. Shout out the sponsors, Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. Mr. Banks, just 2 more games to get to tonight. Both good ones from the Cross Center. How is the night going?
The night's going good so far, man. I mean, really good basketball tonight. I was able to catch the late game with Caribou and Orono. I mean, just great basketball all around. The atmosphere, I mean, I think everybody in town from Caribou showed up tonight.
Oh my God, it was packed for both of those games, too. That was the first thing I noticed when I got there and the girls started warming up. I was like, holy Caribou fans.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why Northern Maine basketball is just, it's so much different than Southern Maine. I mean, I'm not trying to, say Southern Maine basketball isn't great or anything like that. You know what I mean? But
there's just
something
more
different.
The people in the North have a lot of pride for their teams,
Absolutely.
and because that's really almost all they have.
Yeah. I mean, high school sports is just, it's something else up here.
Yeah, and you really see it now during tournament week. My favorite week of the year, every year. Just Class B tonight at the Cross Center, and I have to say I appreciated that first tip-off coming at 6 p.m. Before we get to those highlights, the brackets, top-seeded Caribou for the girls, just 1 loss on the season. They come into the girls' finals after taking down Ellsworth in the semis and Presque Isle in the quarterfinals. Erskine Academy knocked off Herman to kick off their run to the finals. They took down John Baptist in the semis. Here are those boys' brackets.
And for the boys, Orono is back to the regional finals for the 4th year in a row. They knocked out Herman and Old Town to get there. The Riots take on top-ranked Caribou, also with just 1 loss, who defeated Belfast and MDI.
All right, so let's start with the ladies first. Will the Caribou Vikings continue their run, or will Erskine Academy take the title back to South China? A lot of Caribou fans for both games tonight. This was a great one here. Madeline Depre and the Vikings looking to get to their first regional finals title. Look at all of those fans in red. First quarter, Erskine Academy. That is one way to break the press. Olivia Giles takes it all the way down, finds Isabella Winchenbach for 2. Caribou now. Madeline Depre sharing the rock tonight, splits the double team, draws more Eagles in, and finds Quinn Corrigan for an open layup. Again, here comes Depre. Gets into the lane here, and she is going to find Lily Bell cutting baseline for 2. One more time for good luck, too. Depre swings it down low to Liv Adams, who finishes inside. Vikings were up at the break. End of the third, Erskine fighting. Kinsey Ulmer is going to get the bucket inside. And then right after that, watch Lauren Northrup here, number 0, stealing the inbounds pass and beating the buzzer. 2 buckets in about 5 seconds, but the Vikings were not giving up this lead. Depre gets inside, a little shake and bake in the post, and she scores. The Vikings go on to win it, their first B North title. 61-46 is the final. Hold that plaque up, ladies.
Words just seriously cannot describe it. This group grew up watching my brothers win back-to-back state titles, and we always dreamt about doing the same thing. And so leaving town today, we actually had a parade, and just the whole town was outside, and they had decorated snowbanks for us, and it felt like we were where we wanted to be, and we didn't want to disappoint them today. So.
Well, now it's time for the boys. Can Orono take the term 3P from Pat Riley's trademark, or the Vikings have a say if that parade in Caribou pays off? Let's see. Tristan Robbins, top-ranked Caribou, taking on Red Riots. Back-to-back champs. First half, Robbins gets into the paint. Nice, smooth finish through the defense. Banks in for 2. Riots now welcome back to the lineup. Brady Hughes sinks the floater after getting in close. Finds Braden Brescia in the corner. His three-pointer is money. Will Francis now fighting through some tough D from Robbins and laces the mid-range jumper. Riots in the lead after 3. To the 4th, Robbins straight away, triple, good. Vikings, they'll take the lead. But it's Orono now. Bergen Soderberg laces a 3 of his own. Look at this shot. Orono, he's back up. They're back up too. Tie game, Landon Bellinger gets inside, fouled with 0.5 left on the clock. He'll hit the first free throw, misses this, and look at this shot.
Oh, that was so close to giving Orono the win from the full court.
So close from Francis there. Caribou, they'll take Class B North champions right there. Vikings will go on to win 41-40.
I mean, I don't know if I was real or not, so I just, kept calm and just played it off. Knocked us out 3 times in a row. I mean, had to get him back somehow.
I think decorated snowbanks in a parade is probably the most Northern Maine thing ever.
Oh, absolutely. It's just so traditional, basketball in Maine.
I've never heard that, decorating the snowbanks. They spray paint them?
Yeah, they do.
we haven't had snowbanks that big where I grew up.
Everybody from the coaches, everybody, they get snowbanking in their name.
That is awesome. That is
Maine
awesome.
right there.
I got to see some of that. Congratulations to all those teams. Great seasons all around. Let's check out those finished regional brackets and state finals matches with the girls. Caribou girls, that's the boys actually. Caribou boys took down Orono. They win. They will play York in that state championship. Let's go to that girls bracket now. Caribou girls win their first ever regional title over Erskine. They will take on Biddeford in the state game. Biddeford knocked off Oceanside earlier today. All right, let's break it down now. It is time for the rebound. Doug, I will start with you. Actually, no, I'll go first, and I will talk that girls' game. What a performance this tournament from the Caribou Vikings, all tournament long. They're heading to their first ever Class B state championship game. Well-deserved from those ladies. They've been a semifinal team these last few years. I'm pretty sure Ellsworth has knocked them out too the past few seasons. So they got over that hump over the Eagles in the semis and got into the state game. Obviously, Madeline Depre is their star, and at some points tonight she was seeing 2, even 3 defenders. You saw 5 of them on that play at different times. But the way her teammates stepped up to the plate and then some this season is really the difference maker for why Caribou is where they are now. You can tell she fully trusts everyone to produce on offense. By the way, she doesn't hesitate to pass the ball when she sees multiple defenders come at her, and her passing ability was on full display tonight. Yeah, she's a bona fide hooper. She can score with the best of them, but when she gets the ball, it doesn't stick when it gets to her hands. Whether she gets it inside or whether she gets it out on the three-point line, she can shoot, she can finish inside, but her teammates can put it in the cup too. And that depth for the Vikings and that trust that they have with each other has really gotten them to where they are today, and where they are today is playing for a state championship next Saturday.
I mean, when you have a player like that, like you said, who draws, 5 defenders at a time sometimes, it just...
Different times, yeah. She saw the double team split that and then had 3 converge right on her.
Oh, yeah. If you get that amount of players on you, it's one thing to, take the shot, because, you might think you might make it, but it's another thing to facilitate the ball. It just opens up the offense for everybody else, too. And then to have teammates who can step up and hit those shots in the biggest moments, they're going to keep, I hope they keep riding this momentum, because they're a great team.
They're a great team. They're a lot of fun to watch. And when you're that good, it's easy to say, I can take these 2 defenders on myself. I can get a shot off here. And a lot of the time she can. She's that talented. But for her to be a little selfless, a selfless superstar, and be able to share the rock with her teammates and also show them some love and get them some confidence going, that's been huge for them this season. That's probably why their depth is where it is.
Let me ask you, because you've watched her more than, I have. Do you feel like she might be a little bit too passive with the rock?
No. I think she's a very smart player. Like, she knows when to give it up, and she knows when maybe someone's not having their best day and she needs to start hunting shots. If she wanted to hunt shots, she could probably score 30 a game.
Right. But yeah, she's not, sees a little bit of, contact coming. She's like, oh, get the ball out of my hands.
Yeah. It's not right away, but she knows it's a feel for the game, and she has that. She knows when to take the shot, when to look for her teammates. She's a very smart player, and that helps.
Yeah, and that goes so far, too.
It does.
No matter what position you are, whether you're a big man down low or a guard like that, if you have a feel for the game, that just takes you so far.
Yeah. I'll go to you now. That boys game was just an instant classic from the Cross Center. And I've seen a lot of good Orono games with the Cross Center. That Orono Caribou one was a great one tonight. What'd you like from both teams?
It was simply, the epitome of what Maine playoff basketball is like. If either Caribou won or Orono won, they deserved, both of them deserved it, simply put. First, shout out to Brady Hughes from Orono and whatever was in his Gatorade bottle.
Brady's secret stuff.
Oh, absolutely. He was out sick on Wednesday and played tonight for, I feel like, probably almost the entire game at a phenomenal level, too. So, hats off to him. For the game itself, it was a relatively low-scoring game compared to, maybe what we've seen in other games. At the end of the third, it was Orono on top, 30-29, and Caribou only outscored them in the fourth, 12-10. It was hard fought on the defensive end. It wasn't just because a bunch of missed shots. And when they'd make adjustments on the offensive side of the ball, the opponent would be quick to stop it. And Caribou's Tristan Robbins, and Orono's Will Francis, those 2 seniors left everything out on the court tonight. They really battled against each other. And, both of them could find their own shots on the offensive end and rise up over defenders with ease. And although Caribou has got a great player in Robbins, they're stacked with talent on the perimeter. They're going to be a lot to handle next week in Portland against number 2 seed York Wildcats, who just knocked off number 1 seed Montauk Valley earlier today. All around a great roster right there.
And I really liked from tonight, credit, like you said, credit to both teams. I liked every time Robbins got the ball, Francis was right up on him. And that was a great matchup to watch one-on-one. I thought Will has really stepped up his game this tournament. That showed tonight, but Tristan Robbins and Caribou, they have a lot of depth on that team. They got a few older guys who have been there before and played in those roles before, and it was just back and forth all night. I think Orono took a 7-point lead or a 6-point lead with about 4 minutes left, and then Caribou just went on a mini run to give them a lead, and then Soderberg hit that 3, make it 40-38, and that fourth quarter was just for the history books.
Oh yeah, you could talk about Francis and Robbins all day and how they didn't shy away from anything. They didn't shy away from the moment, didn't shy away from contact, didn't shy away from taking the shot when they needed to. But the rest of the team too, man. That was just good basketball.
It was really good
basketball.
basketball.
It was really good basketball.
I think it changed in the end. Francis picked up his 4th foul, and he couldn't be as aggressive on Robbins, but there were only a couple minutes left anyway. But, I mean, what a physical matchup from those two guys. Every time they got it inside, it was like watching, you know, prime big men era in the NBA go at it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, and great touch around the cup, too. I mean, it wasn't like they were just hucking it in there and it was just like coincidentally falling in the hoop. You know, they actually knew what they were doing down there. They're really skilled basketball players. And, you know, for somebody, I don't think I've covered, we certainly haven't covered Caribou this year, but I personally haven't covered Orono. So seeing them, I believe for the first time this year, play basketball against a really, really tough Caribou team, I mean, and like I said earlier, if they won tonight, they definitely deserve it too.
You picked a good time to start watching Orono basketball too.
Yes,
February,
sir.
Orono basketball just takes it to another level.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of fun stuff there. All right, we will preview some of those state matchups and give our final thoughts when we get back. Stay with us.
The best bulls in the world have come to town. For bull riders, 8 seconds can make them a champion or nothing. It's bull time. Banger! Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets or Ticketmaster.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County?
We do!
Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a 5th-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnivore.
John Brown first opened his own appliance store in Ellsworth in 1976. With his gift of storytelling, a strong work ethic, and a philosophy of putting others first, John and his wife and children saw the business prosper and grow. Today's 3rd and 4th generation of family and their entire team continue to follow the example set by their grandparents and parents. Brown Appliance and Mattress, High Street, Ellsworth, a family tradition of quality, value, and customer service that always puts you first.
Orono Arcade has expanded, and we have dozens of new games to play. We have prize machines, including an entire section dedicated to your favorite modern games. We have games from the 80s and games from the 90s. Plus, we have the largest selection of indie arcade games in the country, along with 9-hole blacklight mini golf. We also have a brand new birthday party room. Hey, we have it all. Come on up to Orono and experience one of the most unique family entertainment centers in Maine.
I am born to do this. I am an American bucking bull. And this is my sport. The Professional Bull Riders. PBR Bangor, March 7th through 9th. It's bull time.
The UFL is history in motion. It's the gunslingers, the cold-blooded, and a dynasty stacking 3 straight. This is the UFL.
Welcome back to Fast Break Tourney 2025 edition. Tyler Cruz here with Doug Banks, Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture, the sponsors. Shout out to them. Our first 2 classes of regional finals are in the books. A few more tomorrow, all at the Cross Center. Let's take a look at our schedule there. We're going to kick it off at 1 p.m. with the Class D girls finals between number 4 Skank and number 2 Central Aroostook. At 2:45, the Class D boys play. 17-1 Skank plays 2 seed Katahdin. The Cougars beat the Wolverines to start the season, and Skank has now won 19 straight since that loss. In the evening session, we start with number 2 Matanocook Academy taking on the unbeaten PVHS Howlers. That's going to be a good game. Howlers swept the regular season series, but we all know the saying, it's hard to beat a good team 3 times in a year. And to cap off the night, the Madawaska Owls will take on the top seed Matanocook. I don't think there will be a soul left in Lincoln in that Matanocook area tomorrow. Should be a fun one. All right, Doug, let's bring it back here. 1 day left of the regional finals. Tourney week is circled on my calendar every year. It's a lot of work, but it's just so much fun to see all the athletes and the communities show out. What were your takeaways first time covering this tournament?
First time covering this tournament, man. I mean, it's everything that I believed that it would be. I mean, and I'm not from this area originally, so I didn't really have a poll for a team in it. So
yeah, you had no dog in the fight.
Right, I was just there for good basketball, and I mean, to say I wasn't disappointed is an understatement. I mean, no matter who was playing, who showed up. I mean, sometimes like not a lot of people would show up to the game, and it was still loud in there.
Yeah.
Everything from the atmosphere to the pizza to to the game on the court. I mean, it's something that I can see why it's something that you guys in the sports department look forward to every year.
Yeah, it's our Super Bowl. Like I said, it's a lot of work, but it makes it all worth it. I think my favorite part tonight was when it was tied up late in that Orono Caribou game, and then you had all the Caribou fans on the left side of the gym rising and yelling, all the Orono fans on the right side rising and yelling, just shouting down on the court. I've seen a handful of games that have gotten to that level of excitement and that level of atmosphere at the Cross Center, and every time it just sends chills down you. It's a lot of fun to see these communities who may not even have kids on the team show out and support.
Well, I remember you said to me at one point, probably like near the beginning of the game, like, wow, look at the Caribou side. Look how many people showed up. And then I looked over at the Orono side. I was like, there's just as many people over there.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's fair, but like, it doesn't matter who's playing. It's just everybody showing out for them.
Yeah, and you got to shout out the Erskine fans. They had a good showing, too, in blue there. It was at the first game. I know you missed that one, but that was also a lot of really good show. I mean, just a great atmosphere at the Cross tonight, and I have a feeling it's going to be the same exact way tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as the games there's less and less games, and the stakes are higher and higher. I mean, the more people are going to show out, even just fans as well. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of fans in the Bangor area that just want to see good basketball.
Yeah.
And they're certainly seeing it.
Yeah, and they certainly are seeing it. That's going to be all for tonight. We'll have all more good basketball tomorrow. We hope you guys have a great rest of the evening. We'll see you back here with more Fast Break at 10 tomorrow night right here on Fox after Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils.
For more local news coverage, switch over to our sister station, ABC7, right now for ABC7 News at 11.
What's up, guys? What I'm about to show you is going to change the way you shave your head forever.
You can shave your head. Wonderful memories we shared with her, because that will be the answer. Let it be.
So many broader ramifications to this story about all missing women. And to that end, the Petitos say they intend to use the $3 million they were awarded in a wrongful death lawsuit to fund the foundation named for Gabby.
Meanwhile, we should point out a different lawsuit from the Petito family for $50 million against the Moab, Utah police has been dismissed. The family tells us they do plan to appeal. That is our program for tonight. I'm David Muir.
And I'm Deborah Roberts. From all of us here at 2020 and ABC News, good night.
On the Friday night before the Oscars, where's the one place to see the stars, the nominees?
Mind-blowing. Powerful.
Audacious. So fun. Revealing interviews.
I've never pushed myself so much as an actor.
What everyone's talking about.
I don't have an off switch. I don't have the thing that says this is enough.
You had me in tears. You and your co-star, Ariana Grande.
Oh my goodness.
Countdown to the Oscars with Robin Roberts.
Don't be wicked, Robin.
But I want to be popular.
Next Friday night on ABC.
Friday nights at 9 on ABC. Meet true crime.
True murder mystery.
Shocking.
Sex, betrayal, lies.
A bombshell.
The greatest true crime stories.
2020. Friday nights at 9.
The winner, Carrie Underwood.
You're amazing. You slayed it.
I love everything about you. Oh my God.
This is ABC 7 News at 11.
President Trump speaking before the Republican